Hi guys, happy Friday. Thanks again for joining us. Today's prompt is we are going to be looking at the color and energies that different feelings give off. So we're going to go through 9 different feelings. You can put them however you like on your page, but if you want to copy what I'm doing, I just have 9 different circles. So you can do that if you like. I just used anything circular. This is just a container. I traced 9 circles on there. If you want to do squares, if you want to do different kind of shapes, that's totally fine. However you want to split up your page. So I'm going to let you guys do that to start. So one way or another, have 9 different sections. And then we will come back and we'll get more into it. Alright, so once you have your 9 circles or your 9 sections all organized, we're going to go through them one by one. And so we are going to first pick a color for that feeling. You can fill that section in with that color. And then we are going to second kind of design an energy or an aura for that feeling. So it's up to you where you want to put that. I will likely fill the circle with the color and then do like a aura energy thing on the outside. But if you want to combine it on the inside or do it a different way, that's okay. If you're kind of confused about the energy aura thing, think of it as if this feeling were visual, kind of what shapes or lines or images would represent it. So, for example, if we were talking about happiness versus anger, what would the lines look like for happiness, or what would the lines look like for anger? Would one be more sharp? Would one be more soft? You can use the colors that you used for the inside. Just see kind of what that feeling looks like to you, and go from there. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, or there's no right or wrong way to do it. So if you're having trouble with that part, just be easy with yourself and give it a shot. But yeah, let's get started. So the first feeling we're going to start with is happy. Okay, so pick your color, fill in your circle with the color that happiness represents, and then create an aura or an energy around your circle for what happiness might look like. Okay, let's give it a shot. Also, I should mention you can use more than one color on these feelings. So if it's a mixture of colors or you want to kind of do a combo, go ahead and do that. Or you can just do one color. It's up to you. Okay? All right, so for happy, I chose the colors yellow and orange, and then happiness reminds me of sunshine, and it also kind of gives me that glowy feel. You know, when you can tell someone's super happy, they just kind of look like they're glowing. So I just have little marks coming out so that my aura is glowing and happy and sunshiny. And that's what came to mind for me. Yours might look completely different, and that's totally okay. So let's move on to the second one. Energetic is going to be our next feeling. So again, color in the circle with the colors or color that you feel energetic is best represented by, and then give it an aura or something surrounding it, showing the energy. Okay? Okay, so for energetic, I picked orange and like a bright pink magenta-y color. And then I've got these kind of random waves coming out for the energy. Just kind of reminds me a bit of the Energizer Bunny. Just kind of waves of energy bouncing off the walls. So that's kind of what came to mind for me when I was trying to think of what the energy might look like. All right, let's move on to our next one. So this feeling is going to be relaxed. So pick colors for the feeling and do your energy around the circle. Okay? All right, so my relaxed circle consisted of like a peachy pink color with some light blue, and then the energy level or the aura around it was just kind of like a nice tight warm hug kept close to the circle. Nothing wild or crazy, just nice and calm. But yeah, so let's move on to our next one. So the next feeling that we're gonna do is anxious. Okay, so just like the others, let's pick the colors for anxious, and then do an energy or an aura kind of ring around the circle. All right, so when I think of being anxious or having anxiety, I often think about a lot of the unwelcome or unwanted thoughts that come to your mind and kind of not being able to get out of your own head. So for me, those are often the darker times. So I went with a gray and black kind of color combo. And then my aura kind of around it was kind of jagged like this, as in you're trying to get out of your own head, but you kind of keep getting pulled back in. So that was my representation of anxiety. Again, like all the other ones, yours could be completely different, and that is the point of this, is that we are all different and we all experience emotions differently. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next feeling that I have written down here is frustrated. Okay, so pick a color or colors for frustrated, and then you can do an aura for that one as well. All right, so for frustrated, I actually have a few colors in there. I've got a couple different shades of red, I've got some gray, I've got some blue. And what you might notice as we kind of make our way through this list is that certain feelings might share certain colors. And so frustration for me shares a bit of anxiety. It's going to share a little bit of anger, which we haven't gotten to yet. And it shares a little bit of sadness, because I'm not a huge fan of conflict, which frustration also kind of comes out of. So you just take notice of what different feelings share colors with others, and you can kind of tell what feelings are related. I have X's around frustration as the aura, just because when you're frustrated, things just don't seem to be working. It's kind of like a big error message to me. So that's what I did to surround it. That's kind of the energy it gives off for me. But let's move on to anger. All right, for anger, I definitely have red as a prominent color. I've got a little bit of orange in there as well, as I find that when you're angry, you've got a lot of energy kind of going outwards, especially if you are, in a heated argument, or you are very passionate about what you are angry about. There tends to be a lot of energy and a lot of passion behind that. So I've got a little bit of orange in there. And then surrounding my circle I have all these points going out just because usually our anger is expressed in an outward way in some shape or form, in my case anyways. So yeah, let's move on to our 7th one. So this one is going to be confident. So what color does confident feel like to you, and what does its aura or energy level look like? All right, so my little circle here has some bright pinks. It's got orange and yellow, so it's got a bit of the happy, the high energy. Pink is my go-to confident color, especially like really bright pink, because it's not something I would go to very often, but you know, those days when you're feeling really good and really confident, bright pink is where it's at for me. My energy level is filled with exclamation points. So confidence is a very high energy level for me. It's a very loud energy level. And so that's how I chose to represent it. All right, so we've got 2 more left. The next one that we're going to do is sad. Okay, so pick a color for sadness, and then do your aura or energy level around it, and then we'll come back. Okay, so for sadness or feeling sad, I have a mixture of blues, grays, and purples. And then my aura here is just kind of lingering. It's kind of, it's got a bit of a moody feel. There's not a lot of energy in it, just kind of heavy. And yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I get when I'm sad. It's just kind of, I'm in more of a relaxed state, so I've got a bit of the blue because I'm often self-reflecting when I'm sad. And so I've carried the blue in, and I've got a little bit of the gray from anxiety. And it's just kind of a slow and heavy state. So that's kind of what I tried to represent going around it. All right, on to our last one. The very last feeling that I want you to pick a color for and do an aura energy level for is feeling silly. So this can be silly, goofy, just kind of something along those lines, silly or goofy. Okay, so let's do that one and then we'll come back. Alright guys, and so lastly for silly, I have a whole combination of random colors that don't often go together. I've got some green, orange, pink, yellow, I think that's, yeah, green, orange, pink, yellow, colors that don't often go together, but are kind of create this wild and fun combo. And then I've just got these random swirls going around, because usually when you're feeling silly, you're just a little bit all over the place and you don't care what people think, and you're just kind of going with the flow and how your emotions are taking you, right? So that is everything for this prompt. I hope that you enjoyed it, and that you got to see kind of how different emotions play into one another. Really take a look at the colors that you've put into each feeling and kind of how they relate to different feelings. But yeah, I hope overall that it was just a fun prompt for you to engage in. And that's all for today. So I will see you guys again on Monday. Have a great weekend.